Today I'm going to be ranking every single episode of SpongeBob Season 1 from worst to best. Now the thing about Season 1 here is that it's all so good. That's why ranking all these episodes has been such a nightmare for me, because so many of them are just peak. The comedy is just amazing because, you know, back in the day, jokes were told to actually make everybody in the room laugh. It wasn't just to impress some brain-rotted toddler on the floor going, "Nyeh." No, it was made for everybody. It was great, and every single episode of Season 1 just hits so hard. Yeah, there are a couple that just are a miss for me, but the majority of them are just peak television, and I love them so much. That's why I'm so excited to do this list for you all, and I really hope you enjoy. If your favorite episode is closer to the bottom, or your favorite episode makes it to the top, it's kind of just really hard. It's kind of going to be a jumbled list, because so many of them are either just nostalgia fueled, because I just loved them so much as a kid that I just have to put them higher, or some of them are just going to be lower because I just don't remember them as much, but all of them make me laugh, all of them are entertaining, and I'm very excited to take you through SpongeBob Season 1 and rank them all from worst to best. And if you haven't already, please make sure to press the subscribe button. I make content like this all the time about a bunch of different shows, movies, and games. And yeah, without further ado, let's get this ranking on. Let's rank Season 1 of SpongeBob.
You clam up!
And coming in at number 41, it's going to be the episode I Was Teenage Gary. And this episode is good, don't get me wrong, it's good, but is it wrong of me to say that it just feels kind of out of place with all the other Season 1 episodes? It just feels like, I don't know, it's like a Season 6 episode of SpongeBob, Season 7, like it's still fine, it's still entertaining, but it's not a nostalgia-filled masterpiece by any means. The episode is all about SpongeBob and Patrick going away to a jellyfishing convention for 3 days. Squidward's happy about this, he's pumped because no more SpongeBob. Like that's all he could ever ask for. That's what he needs in his life. So he's super pumped about this, but the only thing is that he has to watch Gary for those 3 days. That was the condition for them to go. That was the only way that they could ever go. And he's just chilling, relaxing the entire time, and he forgets about poor old Gary. And I feel so bad for Gary here. He's just suffering in the house for 3 days, no food, no water. And SpongeBob and Patrick come home, and I really like this. This is kind of one of the only times I laughed in this episode. Squidward tries to force feed Gary all of the food, and again, I just feel so bad for Gary. And he's just trying to force feed him, and he sees that SpongeBob is coming through the door, so Squidward just shoves all of the food in his mouth, and then you just see his inflated head.
I'm home!
Hi, SpongeBob.
Squidward, what are you doing here?
I thought that was kind of funny, but everything else is just kind of whatever. They call the doctor and get some snail plasma to help Gary, but it turns out that he just needed water. Yeah, that's all he needed. And so they're trying to use the snail plasma, and SpongeBob accidentally gets pricked with it, and yeah, SpongeBob starts turning into a snail. He just starts meowing and then turns into a snail, and just visually it's kind of disturbing. I don't like watching him turn into a snail. And then he just starts harassing Squidward for the rest of the episode, and then Squidward gets pricked with the snail plasma as well. It's an entertaining episode of SpongeBob, like, don't get me wrong, throw this on and I'll have a good time, but compared to all the other episodes on this list, this is probably the one that I would choose to watch the least.
You clam up! If I can't have you as a friend, I'm gonna make you a trophy!
And coming in at number 40, it's going to be the episode Nature Pants, and I will say this episode is also quite enjoyable. I mean, if you turned it on, I would be having a good time, but just, I don't really like SpongeBob very much in this episode. Just the idea of him deciding, yeah, I'm gonna leave everybody and go and live out in the wilderness, just doesn't sit right with me for his character. I don't know. Just the entire, first half of the episode is just, oh, I don't like my life, I want to go be a jellyfish. That's pretty much all we get. And then he eventually leaves, and just everything that he's doing in nature isn't that good. I mean, he's just naked trying to be like a jellyfish. The main highlight of this episode here is Patrick. I think Patrick is so funny because, you know, he's really sad that SpongeBob decided to go live in the nature, and he decides that if I can't have you as a friend, I'm gonna have you as a trophy.
If I can't have you as a friend, I'm gonna make you a trophy!
Like, what? Why would you say that? So he starts trying to catch SpongeBob to bring him back as a trophy now, and he's just chasing him, and we even get the Savage Patrick meme here where he's just, sitting up on the ceiling and his eyes are up in a really funny way.
I got you now, SpongeBob!
I think Patrick is the main highlight of this episode, but everything else is just kind of whatever. I don't really care for it. SpongeBob just realizes that he'd rather go back home because the nature just treats him so poorly. He's having such a harsh life. So he goes back to his pineapple and everybody's super happy to see him. Little shindig with all the buddies, and that's about it. That's all there really is. I didn't enjoy SpongeBob throughout the entire episode. I just thought he was kind of just, whatever. But compared to a lot of other episodes on this list, I think there's way better ones. The main highlight here was simply just Patrick.
Make poses with me.
Okay.
And coming in at number 39, it's going to be the episode Neptune Spatula, and I really only enjoyed the beginning of this episode a lot. I think Patrick's really funny in it. I really like Patrick in Season 1 because I feel like he's very dumb, like he always is, but he's witty dumb, not like in the later seasons of SpongeBob where they just made him a complete and utter idiot. Here, everything he's doing is kind of stupid, but at least it's really funny and at least a little bit charming. So SpongeBob is able to lift the golden spatula out of this thing, and that means King Neptune is going to be summoned to find his royal fry cook. It's great, and King Neptune is just a asshole. He doesn't possibly believe that it could have been this sponge. He literally goes around and tries to ask everybody else in the entire room before he gets to SpongeBob. I really like that he's flexing with Larry.
Make poses with me.
Okay.
He's having a good time, and eventually he gets to Patrick, and Patrick's like, no, it was him.
I don't suppose you have any proof.
And he's all like, it couldn't be him. And I really like Patrick here because he's just defending SpongeBob, even though he just gets repeatedly zapped over and over and over again for speaking up for SpongeBob, saying that SpongeBob could do it. And he just keeps adding on more and more challenges to prove SpongeBob's worthiness. And they go to this Coliseum to prove that SpongeBob is able to be this ultimate fry cook. And that's where I think the episode just dips down for me a little bit. I thought the intro and the setup was really good. But then it's just SpongeBob and King Neptune cooking for like 4 minutes, where King Neptune is using all of his like godly powers to make all of his burgers, and everybody hates it. And SpongeBob makes one Krabby Patty with love, and it's obviously going to taste way better because, I mean, it's SpongeBob. Krabby Patties are his thing.
Give me that.
And King Neptune wants to take him with him to the royal palace, but SpongeBob doesn't want to go because he doesn't want to leave his friends, and that's basically the entire episode. I think the back half of this is really why I'm ranking it so low on the list. That first half puts it above the other 2 episodes that I listed, just because I think the first half was actually pretty funny, pretty interesting, and set up the episode well. It just didn't really, hit a home run towards the end. It was just kind of lacking and a little bit boring. That's why it's going to be at the number 39 spot.
Take my hand, and I do this.
Are you kidding?
And coming in at number 38, it's going to be the episode Muscle Bob Buff Pants. And this episode is good. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it from beginning to end. But I don't know. I was kind of blinded by nostalgia with this one because initially when I was making this list, I had this one up way higher when I was initially just writing it out. And then I rewatched the episode and it just didn't hit as hard as I remember. I mean, all of the gags with SpongeBob having these limbs that are super muscular, super buff, because he has those fake like muscle arms on. It's very good. It's enjoyable. Everybody thinking the SpongeBob is just this mass monster just for no reason, even though a day before he was literally just this twig. I enjoyed it. Him just going around acting like he's just the talk of the town, the strongest man there. And then we get this great gag where Sandy is going to sign him up for this anchor throwing competition, and I really like that the drink is just stuck on his hand, and because they're not real, they're attached to him, he can't even lift this simple drink up, so he's just begging Sandy not to do it while she's just slow walking over there, signs him up for it.
SquarePants.
I enjoyed that part a lot. And then I thought all the tension, all the build up to the anchor competition, just getting to watch everybody throw the anchors was really good. I mean, it was propped up a lot by that gag of this poor guy that was measuring the distance. He just keeps getting crushed by the anchors over and over and over again. I thought it's so funny, especially when he tries to run away, tries to move away, and the anchor is just following him. I thought that was so good. That was so funny. And eventually SpongeBob is exposed because he obviously can't throw the anchor, and everybody just cheers for Sandy instead. It's overall a very good episode. It's fine. I just thought this one was going to rank a lot higher because in my mind, this one was way better than I had initially thought. It's still very good though. It still is a really good episode. That's why all these episodes are very hard to rank, because so many of them are just so funny.
April Fools!
What did you do to my drink?
I
You what?
And coming in at number 37, it's going to be the episode Fools in April, and I really like the opening of this episode where it's just SpongeBob going around Bikini Bottom, doing all of these harmless pranks that don't really affect anybody too much. I mean, he prank calls Squidward and tells him he's going to be a famous art critic or something, or they need somebody, a famous painter, and then obviously they don't actually need that because, you know, it's April Fools. And so SpongeBob's just going around, and I really like this other gag with this guy just sipping on his drink, and SpongeBob's just laughing at him. He's like, "What did you do? What did you do to my drink?" And he didn't do anything. He just only put one ice cube in it.
April Fools!
What did you do to my drink?
I.
You what?
It's just funny stuff like that. I enjoy the little harmless pranks. And then you eventually get to Squidward, you know, being his asshole self because somebody's having a good time. So he sets up this elaborate trap that is honestly just pretty creative that just flings SpongeBob all the way around the Krusty Krab, making him look like a fool, just making him look like the biggest joke ever and embarrassing him in front of everybody. So SpongeBob runs away crying, he's sad, and Squidward's like, "Oh no," but he deserved it. And eventually his conscience just keeps on weighing on him, everybody's mad at him, Patrick is mad at him, and eventually Squidward has to confess to SpongeBob that he likes him, that he likes everybody in town, and it turns out that SpongeBob wasn't even remotely mad at Squidward in the first place. It's just all a part of his prank to show Squidward that everybody cares about him and that Squidward cares about all of them. I don't even know how SpongeBob came up with this. Was he just really sitting in his house with all of these people there doing nothing? Because all of them are silent in the background. Nobody's making a peep. Was he really just sitting there like, "Ah!" Like, "Oh, Squidward's gonna come right over and tell us all he loves us so much. It's going to be so funny." I don't know if that was his plan initially, but either way, I'm all for it. It actually has a pretty wholesome ending where they're all happy. Squidward is in their lives. They all appreciate them. And they now get that sweet feeling that Squidward appreciates and likes all of them too. It's just a good ending, wholesome ending. Overall, I mean, the episode's fine. Doesn't really have anything too great about it. Just a couple good laughs here and there. And yeah, it's a pretty like average episode. That's why it's going to rank pretty low on the list. And coming in at number 36, it's going to be the episode Reef Blower, and this one is obviously going to have a bit of a handicap because it's just so short and obviously nobody talks in it, but I mean, that's what the gag is all about. It's just SpongeBob and Squidward going at it, trying to blow all these clams off their lawn and just keep their lawns clean, and visually it's pretty fun. It's a fun episode. It's very enjoyable from beginning to end. It's just very short for me, and this episode only exists to stretch the first episode of SpongeBob to a 30-minute mark so that you could get 3 separate stories, and apparently I just found this out that the reason that nobody talks in this episode is because they wanted to save some money, so they just decided to make it just, you know, have the music and have them just running around. It really gives me that Looney Tunes vibe, but I mean, yeah, it's a fun one, but there's just way better episodes on this list. That's why I'm going to put it so low. It's still very enjoyable. If you've never seen Reef Blower, this just little short where they're just running around blowing this clam with their leaf blowers, it's a really enjoyable one. Definitely give it a watch. It's just, compared to a lot of other episodes that are all 11 minutes long, they kind of have just, you know, a one-up on it. And coming in at number 36 is the episode The Chaperone, and this episode just doesn't have a whole lot going for it. I really like the gag about the dummy sponge here. SpongeBob creates a dummy version of himself that looks exactly like him, and at the end of the episode, he is actually a sentient dummy. Yeah, it's very weird. This episode is all about SpongeBob taking Pearl to prom because her boyfriend left her or whatever, so SpongeBob is just trying to make it the best time ever, except he's ruining it. He's ruining everything. I really like this gag where SpongeBob is trying to appear tall, so he's wearing some stilts, and he's trying to get the punch out of the bowl and he just can't reach it, so he's just sitting there like I thought that was pretty good. That was funny, and then we don't really get anything of value, anything of interest until we get to see do the sponge, now do the sponge, and that's about it.
Now you're doing the sponge. I do the sponge, or do the sponge.
He shows Pearl a good time, takes her back home, gets a little smooch, and yeah, he did great, did awesome, and then it's revealed that it was a dummy the entire time, and SpongeBob comes and grabs his dummy, and yeah, it's very weird, very odd, but I enjoy it nonetheless. Definitely not one of the best of the season, but it's definitely not one of the worst. It's just a very middle of the road for me.
I guess you don't have what it takes to be a stand-up guy.
But what about airline food?
What?
Airline food, my gosh, what is up with that stuff?
And coming in at number 35 is going to be the episode Walking Small, and this episode is all about Plankton trying to teach SpongeBob to be more assertive, when in reality he just wants to use SpongeBob to get his way, to be an asshole basically, and it just keeps backfiring on Plankton over and over and over again because SpongeBob is just a super nice guy. He doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and everything Plankton is saying, he just takes it the wrong way, and he just keeps being nice to people, until eventually he does convince SpongeBob to actually be a menace a little bit, and SpongeBob starts going around causing chaos, making fun of people, stealing their ice cream, breaking a board, just messing up with people's lives until SpongeBob eventually realizes that Plankton was just using him, so SpongeBob goes around and he fixes everything, makes it all better, and yeah, that's the entire episode. I mean, Plankton here is just kind of at his worst. I don't really enjoy him throughout the entire episode. I think there's way better episodes that feature Plankton. He's not really bad by any means. He's really good to pair with SpongeBob, but you kind of just need SpongeBob anchoring off of Plankton for some good comedy. I mean, I think my favorite joke in the entire episode is when Plankton is putting his hat on, he's packing his bags because he doesn't think that it's going to work with SpongeBob. He's just like, oh, I don't think you could be a stand-up guy. So SpongeBob just... so SpongeBob just starts talking about, he's just like, oh, what about airline food? Because he says SpongeBob can't be a stand-up guy, so he starts trying stand-up comedy. I don't know why I find that shit so funny. It's just so good.
I guess you don't have what it takes to be a stand-up guy.
But what about airline food?
What?
Airline food, my gosh, what is up with that stuff?
That joke always catches me so off guard. But yeah, there's a lot of good moments in this episode. SpongeBob and Plankton work well together. Plankton on his own in the episode I didn't enjoy very much, but just all the gags with them together are pretty good. Just going around doing all this stuff. Overall, it's fine. It's a good episode. Not the best though, but it's good. And coming in at number 33 is the episode Jellyfish Jam. And this episode really only has one major thing going for it. We get the Jellyfish Jam song, which is just... I think it's pretty good. I enjoy the song a lot, and I enjoy SpongeBob dancing with all the jellyfish, having a good time. And then the episode just starts to, take a little dip for me when we get to the later parts where it's just basically the jellyfish just being assholes and bullying everybody for a while. When I initially read the title for this one, I thought it was going to be the, hey, all you people. Hey, all you people, won't you listen to me? It's not no ordinary sandwich. I thought it was going to be that episode, but that's not an episode that's in Season 1, when I was very sad that it was this episode instead. Overall, it's a fine episode. I mean, I don't really like the ending with the jellyfish just going around harassing SpongeBob and just, stinging him, and they eventually have to get rid of it. Or, well, they go and attack Squidward first because Squidward starts playing his clarinet. That was bad. And I actually do enjoy the ending of the episode a lot, where SpongeBob is just sitting there and then Gary starts just knocking his eyeballs together, and he realizes that he could lure them all out of his house because they're just, they're causing a ruckus by using the beautiful sounds of nature. And I enjoy the song at the end.
La 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 la.
He's just luring them, just pulling them through this chorus, just taking them back into nature. I enjoy the ending a lot, but overall, the middle parts of the episode with the jellyfish just causing chaos didn't really make me laugh too much, except for, Squidward's just struggles and trifles with dealing with getting stung by jellyfish. That kind of gave me a chuckle, but everything else was just kind of, whatever. It's fine. Not the best episode, not the worst.
This tent.
No.
This guy?
No.
And coming in at number 32, it's the episode Valentine's Day, and I actually found this episode to be way more enjoyable than everybody else seemed to. I mean, yeah, it's the first episode where we truly get to see Prick Patrick because he's just an asshole, but at least in this episode, compared to a lot of episodes where Patrick is just being an asshole for no apparent reason, at least he's kind of valid for it. I mean, SpongeBob's hyping up this Valentine's Day gift just the entire episode. He's just like, oh, I can't wait to give you this gift, which is honestly a pretty sweet gift. I mean, it's a hot air balloon made out of chocolate that Sandy is on her way with, but she runs into a bunch of flying clams that are trying to eat it. So throughout the episode, Sandy is just battling this, trying to deliver this Valentine's gift, but Patrick is just, not taking this very well. He needs that gift, and I actually enjoy all the gags before, Patrick turns into Prick Patrick, where he's just like, I need Valentine's gift. He's just going around, trying to see if everything is his gift. He's freaking out. He's tweaking.
This tent.
No.
This guy?
No.
And eventually SpongeBob is like, okay, I gotta stop this guy, he's gonna lose it, and he offers him a handshake as a temporary gift until the actual gift arrives, and Patrick does not like this. He is very upset. His face goes from this to... yeah, he's very upset. He can't handle this, and he just starts losing it. And I really like the ending where he's just like got everybody cornered on a bridge, and he's literally going to kill everybody. That's how he's making it out to be. He's going to kill everybody because SpongeBob didn't give him a Valentine's gift. And then Sandy arrives with it. Patrick is super happy. He gets his chocolate and he's like, you didn't have to get me anything, pal. Yeah, I love it. It's a pretty good ending to the episode. I completely understand why people rank this so low on all of their lists because, I mean, Patrick is just being horrible. But you could kind of argue that it's pretty valid. I mean, if somebody was hyping up this gift to you all day and then they offered you a handshake and then you're sitting on a bench and you're coming to terms with it, you're like, a handshake may not be the most ethical gift ever, but, I mean, it's really something. And then a bunch of random people start coming up to SpongeBob being all like, oh, thank you so much for giving me this bike, these flowers, these chocolates, thank you so much. And all you got was a handshake. Yeah, you'd probably be a little bit upset too. And overall, it's a fine episode. It's definitely not the best of the season, but I don't think it deserves all of the hate that it gets.
Help. Can't. Open mayonnaise. What?
And coming in at number 31, it's going to be the episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2. And I always enjoy me some Mermaid Man and some Barnacle Boy. I think they're so funny. I just love that they're elderly and they just play off that joke so well. The beginning of this episode, though, just starts off really slow for me. That's why I think it's way worse than the first Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episode. Also, I just think the first Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episode is much more charming with all of the jokes. I enjoy it a lot more. That's why I rank this one a little bit lower. It's just a super slow start with SpongeBob entering a contest. He wins a conch that gets summoned Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy to help him with any of his problems, and so he just keeps on summoning them for just meaningless tasks that aren't putting anybody in danger.
Help. Can't. Open mayonnaise. What?
So Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy are sick of this, but Mermaid's Man is all like, oh, he could be the hero of tomorrow. So they start taking him around town to just, show him the ways of being a hero. And I really like the scene where SpongeBob just starts mugging this former criminal who was just standing on a bus stop. I thought that was pretty good.
Help! Help somebody there!
You're under arrest, atomic flounder.
And then eventually they're just chilling at a restaurant. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy try to ditch SpongeBob. And when they leave him, the dirty bubble shows up in his dirty bubbleness and puts them inside of the dirty bubble. And I love the end of this episode so much where he saves them because he just wants an autograph from the dirty bubble and just starts walking towards him with a pencil and pops him.
Oh, no, you fools, stay back. The point. What's the point now?
It's good. Yeah, it's a good episode. I always enjoy Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. I think that they're really funny on their own. They could prop up an entire episode all on their own. Just they have a lot of good jokes to them, and I really like the invisible boatmobile gag where he keeps on starting it and he keeps getting burned alive. There's a lot to enjoy about them. Just this episode, the first 5 minutes of it is really slow to me. That's why I'm going to rank it a little bit lower on the list.
I love this show.
Me
And coming in at number 30, it's going to be the episode Karate Choppers, and I really like the opening sequence of this episode. It's action-packed, with SpongeBob and Sandy just constantly finding different ways to do karate against each other, just surprising each other on every turn just so that they could, whack each other. It's so good. I enjoyed the beginning a lot.
I love this show.
Me
And then eventually you get to SpongeBob, who's just suffering to fight his urges of karate, and he keeps karateing Sandy all the time, and he eventually just causes some chaos at the Krusty Krab. So Mr. Krabs is all like, no more karate, me boy, or you're fired. So SpongeBob is just, not going to do any karate anymore, and Sandy is just, trying to egg him on to do it. Mr. Krabs sees this and ends up firing SpongeBob, and SpongeBob just starts crying. He's upset, he's sad, but Mr. Krabs gives him his job back, and so SpongeBob is trying to find other outlets to take out, his temperament, his desire to fight, and he's just going around. Sandy's trying to help him. They eventually get to this park, and I really like how they just start trying to make a sandwich, and they find out that basically everything is karate, because they start just slicing things, like slicing meat and slicing bread, and it's just to make a sandwich.
Right. Time for buns.
And yeah, it just leads to chaos with them just going around karate chopping everything. Mr. Krabs shows up and he sees the potential of this, the money-making potential, and he just puts SpongeBob to work with his karate skills, so it's a good, happy ending. This episode's definitely just fine. It has a couple of good jokes here and there that get me to laugh a little bit. I really like the beginning of it, though. That's really what sells me on putting this episode higher than the other ones, because, I mean, I just love the opening with all of the karate chopping, all of the ways that they surprise each other to attack each other. I thought that was so good, and the ending is pretty good, pretty wholesome, too, so that's why it's going to rank up a little bit higher.
How could they be dangerous? They're covered with free cheese!
And coming in at number 29 is the episode Hookie, and I think this episode is another one of those where Patrick is mainly the main force of the comedy here, because I think everything he does in this episode is really funny. SpongeBob is just kind of our, like, oblivious to the world main character here, and then Mr. Krabs is over here being the wise man, because in this episode, Patrick convinces SpongeBob to play a little hooky. Literally, he gets SpongeBob to leave work and go and play on these hooks, and these are fisherman lines, they're fishing hooks, and yeah, so they just, like, plop their ass on the hook, and they get sucked all the way up into the air, and they get off just before they reach the surface and float all the way down. And I really like how Patrick is selling this, because he's like, how could these possibly be dangerous? They have cheese on them!
How could they be dangerous? They're covered with free cheese!
I enjoy that a lot. Mr. Krabs eventually sees them doing this and tells them a story about how he lost a friend, and that it's very dangerous, they'll lose their britches, they'll lose their lives, they'll be made into tuna, and, you know, SpongeBob and Patrick swear that they'll never go near the hooks ever again, and Patrick lures him out to do it again, and I really like how he's just like, how could these possibly be dangerous? Does this look dangerous? When he has 8 hooks in his mouth.
SpongeBob, let me ask you something. Does this look dangerous?
How is he not getting pulled up to the surface right now? But either way, SpongeBob ends up getting hooked and he can't get it off of him, so he just starts running away, running to the Krusty Krab to try and get help, and it turns out Mr. Krabs was just trying to teach him a lesson the entire time by making him pantsless in front of the ladies, trying to teach him to never go on the hooks ever again. He gets super embarrassed.
Promise I'll be good. Whew.
SpongeBob learns his lesson, and I love the end of this episode where you're just thinking, what happened to Patrick? And he just gets mailed back to Bikini Bottom in a can of tuna.
Oh, does somebody have a can opener?
Love it. Gotta love it. Just a very solid episode. I really like the plot here. I really like exploring like fishing hooks and the idea of fishermen in Bikini Bottom, because the fish aren't entirely stupid here. They are obviously going to be a little bit aware of what these hooks are, but when it comes to SpongeBob and Patrick, of course they're going to be a bit oblivious to what's actually going on. I don't know. I just enjoy this one.
I've always loved that shirt. Okay, I'll trade. I can break a promise for this.
And coming in at number 28 is the episode The Paper, and this episode follows the plotline of SpongeBob promising to never give this horrible piece of paper back to Squidward, and SpongeBob is just having an amazing time with this piece of paper. He's using his imagination, he's using everything, he's doing all of these incredible things with the paper, and I love all the gags of Squidward just watching, just getting more and more sad because he just sees SpongeBob doing all these incredible things.
I'm partial to doing it in the key of A minor myself.
And I like his slow descent into madness as he tries to prove to himself and to SpongeBob that he could have more fun with the stuff that he has, but SpongeBob is just showing him that this piece of paper is godly. So eventually Squidward trades all of his possessions to SpongeBob, and in return SpongeBob takes his shirt, even puts it on. He's having a good time wearing that shirt.
I've always loved that shirt. Okay, I'll trade. I can break a promise for this.
I really like the visual of SpongeBob in Squidward's shirt for some reason. It looks so wrong but so right at the same time. And Squidward now gets the piece of paper and he realizes that, I don't know, he's just not a magical, imaginative person and can't do anything with the paper, and it does nothing for him.
I'm flying! That's right, here we go now. I'm flying.
And that's the entire episode. I enjoy this one a lot. I think it's kind of like the building blocks for a later episode of SpongeBob. I think it's called The Box, where like SpongeBob and Patrick are having so much fun with this box, and Squidward just doesn't understand how this possibly could be. I think it's the groundwork for that episode, because that episode is probably in my top 5 SpongeBob episodes of all time. It's kind of the same concept here, but I think that episode does it way better. I think that's like a season 3 episode, but it doesn't take away from this episode. I still think it's pretty enjoyable. All the gags with Squidward trying to get the paper, just being jealous, and then eventually him like seeing that it's worth nothing. I enjoy it a lot. I think it's a pretty good episode. It made me laugh a couple of times. Definitely deserves its spot.
Do you like my new boots? Pretty cool, huh?
And coming in at number 27, it's going to be the episode Squeaky Boots. And in this episode, Mr. Krabs gives Pearl this pair of boots, and she hates them because they're just fisherman boots. Why would she ever want that? She clearly doesn't. So he convinces SpongeBob to trade his paycheck for these boots. And the only thing about these boots is they are extra, extra, extra squeaky.
Do you like my new boots? Pretty cool, huh?
And Mr. Krabs plays it off at first. He's just like, all I hear is the sounds of sweet, succulent money, Mr. Squidward. I don't hear anything trivial. And eventually it starts haunting him. It just causes his descent into madness. He sees it in his dreams. He hears it when he's at home. He just can't stop hearing those boots. And I really like the animation turns in this episode, especially when Mr. Krabs goes out to steal the boots and is about to fry them and eat them. Just as like the zoom in to his face. I enjoy it a lot. I think it's very funny. And yeah, that being said, he does fry them and he does eat them, only to discover that every time he hiccups, he hears that same squeaking noise. And yeah, he eventually confesses to SpongeBob. That's been pretty much the entire episode. And yeah, it's pretty enjoyable. I find it pretty funny. I really like just Mr. Krabs descending into madness. That's the main thing that carries the episode here. I think it's just so funny to watch him just slowly lose his mind over the squeaking noise. And yeah, it's pretty good.
Floor it?
No, don't floor it.
Okay, floor it!
No!
And coming in at number 26 is going to be the episode Boating School, and I enjoyed this episode a lot. I mean, we get our introduction to Mrs. Puff and her unfortunate torment due to SpongeBob's antics. I really like the beginning where it's just like, okay, let's start this boating lesson, and then he's just like, floor it? Should I floor it? No, don't floor it. Floor it! And it just crashes into the wall. It's so good.
Floor it?
No, don't floor it.
Okay, floor it!
And eventually, Patrick puts an antenna into SpongeBob's head so that he could radio him and tell him what to do on his boating course lesson. And just, he does so well. He's just helping SpongeBob the entire time. And I like Patrick like this. I like Patrick where he's just smart enough to help SpongeBob pass a driver's test. In the later seasons, there's no way this guy would even remotely even know what a car is. So I enjoy this. It's just Patrick just radioing in while SpongeBob is wearing this hat, telling him exactly what to do on the test. And then eventually, Mrs. Puff says exactly what is happening. Is there a guy telling you exactly what to do? Then you have an antenna in your head and a radio stuck inside of your head telling you exactly what to do to pass this test. And SpongeBob's like, of course not. And she's like, well, good, because that would be cheating. And that makes him just lose it. He starts freaking out and he floors it and they crash.
That way! Cheat that way!
And that's the end of the episode. SpongeBob doesn't get his driver's license. And yeah, overall, it's just a lot of fun. It's a simple, like, driver's license boat episode for SpongeBob, but it's pretty good. I like it. It's a good introduction to Mrs. Puff, and it's very, like, you know, her, like, watered-down version where she just hates her life. She's just constantly in fear, but I still enjoy her a lot, and this episode was enjoyable from beginning to end.
Churro! No, get in the boat!
There's evil afoot.
What?
And coming in at number 25, it's the episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. And the main highlight of this entire episode just has to be Mermaid Man because he's just so funny. I mean, it's not even like his fault that he's funny. He's not really trying to be funny. It's just more of situational comedy, and I just love it so much. Because in this episode, I really like the beginning of it where SpongeBob and Patrick are just huge fans of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, which leads them to genuinely harass Squidward for no reason, viewing him as Reflecto, the villain. So they just start trying to ruin his day.
If Reflecto is cut off from sunlight, he becomes weak.
Jumpin' jellyfish, Mermaid Man! He's destroying the shield!
And it's things like this where I kind of see Squidward's point because he's genuinely not doing anything. He's not trying to mess anything up for SpongeBob and Patrick, but they're just ruining his day, like, on purpose. And it's pretty funny. It's pretty good because Squidward's just losing it. And eventually, SpongeBob and Patrick go to see Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. And I honestly feel so bad for them, but at the same time, it's really funny because SpongeBob mentions the word evil, and he's just like, evil! And just starts, like, having, like, a PTSD episode and starts losing his mind, just running everywhere searching for the evil.
There's evil afoot.
What evil?
And it's so funny. I like that instead of being these, like, you know, super cool superheroes, they're just washed up old people. I think it makes it so much better if instead of them being like actual superheroes. I just enjoy it. And then we just get all these scenes where SpongeBob and Patrick are trying to ignite their passion for fighting crime once again, just in a bunch of really funny ways. Like SpongeBob even dresses up as a woman getting mugged.
I'll be taking that.
Ah! Help! Help!
It's so good. I enjoy it a lot, and the episode ends with them like getting their TV show back, and they're just sitting there playing chess or checkers. I forget which one it is. And yeah, it's pretty good. Overall, a great introduction for Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. I think they're hilarious characters, and I'm glad that they're a part of the show. I enjoy it a lot. And coming in at number 24, it's going to be the episode Bubble Stand, and I enjoy this episode a lot. I mean, it kind of only has 3 things going for it, but it's all nostalgia, it's all enjoyable, but I had to rank it a little bit lower because, I mean, it only has 3 things going for it. I like the introduction of the episode where Squidward is asking for some peace and quiet, and SpongeBob is just like trying to hammer a nail while building the bubble stand, and he's just doing it like boop, boop, boom, just really slowly. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. And then SpongeBob just starts blowing some bubbles, and he's able to blow the most beautiful bubbles you could ever imagine, blowing an elephant, blowing a ship, and Squidward gets sick of this really fast. And that's when we get to learn about SpongeBob's technique.
Let's go like this. Spin around, stop. Double take 3 times. 1, 2, 3.
And he just starts showing Squidward the technique, and he does that for a while, and yeah. And then Squidward tries to replicate this, and he can't do it at all, and starts having a spaz attack, and is like, technique, and just starts freaking out. But he manages to blow a super bubble, and so everybody starts cheering for him, Squidward, Squidward. And so he goes inside, he's having a good time, playing his clarinet, and eventually the bubble returns and grabs his house and starts lifting it up into the air.
Genius.
And that's the entire episode. And the 3 things that it had going for it was the gag at the beginning with SpongeBob having to be quiet, technique, and then the bubble at the end taking away his house. Overall, it's a fun episode. It's pretty good, can make me laugh here and there, but it's definitely not one of the best in the entire season. I feel like this one is also one of those that are just blinded by nostalgia because I initially had this way up higher on the list.
A smelly smell that smells smelly. Anchovies.
And coming in at number 23 is going to be Help Wanted, and I mean, how could I not rank this at least a little bit high up on this list? I mean, yes, it's basically a short story, but come on, it's the beginning of SpongeBob, it's the first ever episode, the first ever scene, the first ever story. It's gotta rank a little bit higher up here, and I think it's honestly pretty enjoyable. I mean, the episode is all about how Mr. Krabs and Squidward don't want SpongeBob working there by any means, and that's till Mr. Krabs is like, "You smell that, Mr. Squidward? Anchovies." And that's when a bunch of anchovies show up.
A smelly smell that smells smelly. Anchovies.
But I really like them because, I don't know, they remind me of the seagulls from Nemo for some reason, which is basically like mine, 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 because there's just a swarm of them, they're everywhere, and they all need to be fed, and they start swarming the Krusty Krab, and it's up to SpongeBob to come there with his brand new spatula to save the day, cooking hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of Krabby Patties, feeding all of them anchovies, and earning his job at the Krusty Krab. It's simple, it's straight to the point, the anchovies are hilarious, what's not to like about it? Great introduction to SpongeBob, I love it, earns its spot.
Hey, Patrick, what am I now?
Stupid?
Coming in at number 22, it's going to be the episode Texas, and I will not lie to you, this episode ranks way higher simply because I wish that I was back in Texas. The ocean's no place for a squirrel.
I wanna go home, home.
Yeah, we get that iconic SpongeBob song in this episode. This episode is all about how Sandy is just so sad. She's homesick. She misses her home. She misses Texas. So SpongeBob and Patrick try to show her all the joys of Bikini Bottom, but it just doesn't compare to her sweet old Texas. And that's when SpongeBob and Patrick are like, well, Sandy, what's so good about dumb old Texas anyway? Duh. If you're from Texas, you're probably like, duh. And so they just start making fun of her, roasting her home.
Hey, Patrick, what am I now?
Stupid?
And this leads to a chase scene between Sandy trying to chase SpongeBob and Patrick, and I find it so funny, especially when Patrick gets roped, just grabs him and like, SpongeBob! As he just gets thrown backwards. It's so good, and then he literally explodes. And SpongeBob leads Sandy all the way to the Krusty Krab, where everyone is throwing a big old party for her to show her why she should stay in Bikini Bottom. It's wholesome, it's good, it's a great ending to show why that everybody loves Sandy, everybody appreciates her, and that she is home. It's definitely a SpongeBob classic. It's just so good. It's got an iconic song. It's got SpongeBob and Patrick running away from Sandy in a very comedic moment. It's just a good episode. I enjoy it.
Why, I'm a pet goldfish in a bowl.
I don't get it.
And coming in at number 21, it's going to be the episode Scaredy Pants, and this is the first ever SpongeBob Halloween episode, and they did not disappoint. The episode opens with Mr. Krabs telling SpongeBob a scary story, and it's actually just to troll him and get him to be scared because he's Scaredy Pants. He's the easiest guy to scare in all of Bikini Bottom, so everybody's just trolling him, scaring him because it's just so easy.
I've come for your pickle.
Patrick shows up and he's wearing just like a little, like, you know, the nose and the unibrows and the mustache like face thing, and he scares SpongeBob, and SpongeBob, he's just sick of it. He's like, why is everybody so scary and I'm not scary to anybody else? So he decides he's going to dress up as a ghost. He uses Patrick to like cut him to make him look round because that's going to work, and so he just starts going around town scaring everybody, except nobody is scared of him because he's just wearing this little blanket. And eventually they decide they're going to go to this party at the Krusty Krab and scare everybody there. And I really like this one moment between Squidward and Sandy where they're just talking about their costumes, and Squidward is the Flying Dutchman and Sandy is a goldfish in a bowl. And I don't know, I just enjoy it because Squidward's like, what are you supposed to be? And she's like, I'm a pet goldfish in a bowl. He's just like, I don't get it, because I don't know if the concept of owning a pet fish really works in their society, but either way, I thought it was funny.
Why, I'm a pet goldfish in a bowl.
I don't get it.
And then you have SpongeBob coming down from the heavens to scare everybody. They're all scared until it fails miserably because Patrick drops him. And they're all like, oh, it's just Scaredy Pants. And that's when the Flying Dutchman actually shows up. Oh my God! The Flying Dutchman shows up. Everybody's terrified. And he's just sick of everybody going around calling themselves the Flying Dutchman because that's what SpongeBob was calling himself. And so he's just like, you're not scary, son. Not at all. Now take off that blanket. He rips it off of him. And SpongeBob's brain is just showing because Patrick literally cut off all of his sponge in an attempt to make him round. Yeah, so everybody runs away.
Hey, what do you know? I scared him!
Everybody's scared. Overall, a great Halloween episode. I enjoyed it a lot. They knocked it out of the park for the first one. Every character is in this episode. They all get to shine in a unique way. And yeah, I just enjoy it a lot. I think the ending was really funny where you just get to see his exposed flesh brain. Yeah, that was pretty good. Enjoyed it. You've reached the halfway point, so I just wanted to do a quick little, self-promotion here. I recently made a Discord. The link for that will be in the description. It's just a place where you can come and hang out, give me video ideas, ask any questions you have for me, give me hot takes, just talk about anything. You could post memes there if you want. You could just have people to talk to, just anything like that. It's just a place to come, talk about cartoons, and enjoy yourself. So if you're into that, yeah, just click on that description, join. Anybody's allowed there. Yeah, just a little bit of that, and also subscribe. Yeah, appreciate you.
All right, SpongeBob, you're too sick to work.
No, Mr. Krabs, I'm okay. Honest.
And coming in at number 20, it's going to be the episode Suds, and in this episode, SpongeBob gets sick. It's because he leaves his fridge door open, which just lets his entire house just freeze, so he gets a little bit ill from this. He tries to go to work, but he is just so dang sick, Mr. Krabs even won't let him be there. So he has to go home, try to rest up a little bit.
All right, SpongeBob, you're too sick to work.
No, Mr. Krabs, I'm okay. Honest.
And Patrick is there to try and help him get better. And I really like all the things that Patrick tries to do to help him get better because none of them are even remotely sensical. They're just all stupid. And my favorite one of all is when Sandy is there to pick him up and take him to the doctor's. She knocks on the door and Patrick is just like in like a torture mask and just like a torture chamber is set up for SpongeBob.
Uh-oh, it's Sandy.
I don't know what he was doing to him, but whatever it was, it couldn't have been good. Either way, this leads to Patrick and Sandy fighting over SpongeBob, who's just inflated at this point, just pushing him everywhere, shoving him everywhere, and eventually they realize that he has to go to the doctor. He just has to. He needs to, so he goes to the doctor, and that's when we get one of my favorite scenes in just all of SpongeBob. I think it's so funny, just because of how just, realistic it is, because SpongeBob, he's sick, so what are they going to do to treat a little old sponge? They're going to give him the sponge treatment. And a literal, human hand just comes in and we just get, footage of a sponge getting washed and SpongeBob's all better. And that's the entire episode. I think it's a pretty solid episode. I was entertained for the entire thing. There were a couple of moments here and there that gave me a good chuckle, especially everything with Patrick, trying to make SpongeBob get better and avoid the doctor. I thought all that stuff was pretty good. It's just overall a very fun episode. I enjoyed it.
You're fired. But I don't even work here. Would you like a job starting now? Boy, would I. You're fired.
Coming in at number 19, it's going to be the episode Arr, Advasty Mateys, because this episode is honestly just a lot of fun. It's all about Mr. Krabs, SpongeBob, and Patrick all playing this board game, and Mr. Krabs gets so addicted to it that he just loves it so much. And I really like the opening of this episode where they're just playing it, and you can just see Mr. Krabs slowly descend into his addiction to this game. He loves it so much, he even fires Patrick.
You're fired. But I don't even work here. Would you like a job starting now? Boy, would I. You're fired.
All of it is just so funny. I love it. And then this guy even walks in there, a paying customer, hungry for a Krabby Patty, and Mr. Krabs just picks him up and throws him out of the restaurant. That was just so funny.
Because I am sure hungry for one. Help! Help! My leg!
I love the opening to this episode, and then you just have Mr. Krabs' just addiction continuing as SpongeBob really just wants to go home, and Mr. Krabs is already there waiting for him, just wanting to play so badly, but SpongeBob is so done with the nonsense. So he sends Mr. Krabs home, and he goes to bed.
Mr.
1, 2, 3.
Mr. Krabs! I wanna go to bed!
And then the next day, Mr. Krabs shows up with a pirate ship ready to go and hunt some real treasure. And he's just leading them on this wild goose chase. They're all for it. They're a pirate crew. They're having a good time. And then eventually night falls. And SpongeBob and Patrick get a little curious, to say the least. So they go in there, sniffing, and they find the treasure map. They're not supposed to look at this treasure map, but there's no rule against touching it. So they start tapping it. It opens up, they just put their eyes all over this treasure map to find the real treasure, and they learn that it's actually just like the placemat for the board game. So Mr. Krabs had been lying to them about this real treasure hunt this entire time, and they start getting into a little bit of an argument because Mr. Krabs is accusing them of cheating, and then they find the actual X that marks the spot! Whoa! So they start digging it up, they dig it up, and it turns out it's the Flying Dutchman's treasure, and yeah, pretty much the entire episode. Mr. Krabs doesn't really win in the day because he doesn't get any treasure, he just gets a tiny plastic treasure chest, but overall, I just think this episode is a lot of fun. It may only make me laugh a few times, but I was entertained throughout the entire thing. There were just so many good moments throughout all of it. I really like the first 5 minutes the most, though, with Mr. Krabs' just addiction to the board game, just taking over his entire life, making him even refuse money. It's just a really fun episode, and it definitely deserves to be this high up on the list.
Oh, spiders! Spiders! Get them off me! Get them off me! Get them off me!
And coming in number 18 is going to be the episode Home Sweet Pineapple, and this is a very just grounded plot line, but I think it's a good one. The episode opens with SpongeBob's house literally shrinking before his eyes. He's questioning everything. He's like, I finally got bigger, but it turns out his pineapple is just going away, disintegrating right in front of him, and nothing is left but him and Gary and this little seed that he finds on the ground. So the entire episode is going to be him and Patrick seeing if they could build a new home at first, and they try their best, but they just make a tiny little pineapple pineapple. I really like the entire sequence of them just trying to build a new house. It was really funny, especially with all like visual gags, like SpongeBob literally turning the entire world upside down when he's using a wrench. I thought that was pretty good. And then you eventually get to him just like being, okay, well maybe I could just live with Patrick. And all of the scenes of him living with Patrick are just so good. But the one that genuinely made me laugh at just any time I see it is when SpongeBob is just like trying his best to sleep and Patrick just wakes up and just grabs his entire rock and just starts going, spiders, 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 and just starts beating the hell out of SpongeBob.
Oh, spiders! Spiders! Get him off me! Get him off me! Get him!
I thought that was so funny. So SpongeBob realizes, okay, maybe this isn't going to work out the way I thought it was. So he goes over and he tries to sleep with Squidward. And this entire sequence is also really funny, with Squidward just being too tired to realize what's going on. Even having SpongeBob ask him to go get a glass of water and him just being so sleepy that he's going to go do it. And then we get that beautiful like meme sequence of Squidward realizing what's going on and his eyes just like dart open. And he's like, what am I doing?
Good night, SpongeBob.
And then he's like, get out of here, SpongeBob, you fool. And so SpongeBob has to leave, and we get to the next day. Squidward is happy, he's celebrating because SpongeBob is skedaddling onto a new life. We even get to see SpongeBob's parents for the first time showing up to pick him up, and then the seed starts growing. The pineapple is back, it's wholesome, it's happy. SpongeBob gets a brand new pineapple home, and it's all good, it's a happy ending. This is just a very simple plotline. I mean, you just have SpongeBob going and hanging out with Patrick, hanging out with Squidward for a little bit. I mean, even if it was against Squidward's will, but overall I just think it's a lot of fun, and it has a lot of good like short gags that I found really funny. That's why it's gonna earn its spot.
Have you seen
SpongeBob?
Gary?
How dare you invade the sanctity of my dreams?
And coming in at number 17 is going to be the episode Sleepy Time, and this is also a really fun one because, I mean, it's just SpongeBob going around and invading everybody's dreams, and I really like the first dream that he goes in here because it's Gary's, and in this dream, Gary is not shackled by his earthly limitations.
Have you seen
SpongeBob?
Gary?
How dare you invade the sanctity of my dreams?
He is this super intelligent snail in a library, and I just think it's so funny to see Gary like this. Gary talking, speaking to SpongeBob. I enjoy it a lot. I thought it was really funny. And then he goes on to Patrick's dream, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like every time I talk about Patrick this season, I feel like it just highlights everything that's so good about his character. I just hate that they ruined him later on by making him so dumb. You could have a dumb character, but he has to be dumb and charming at the same time, and this is a great example of that, where he's just riding, you know, like one of those like horse things.
Yep.
Ah, tartar sauce. I'm going to a different dream.
Okay.
Why am I blanking on what the horse things are called? Just the horse things where you like put a quarter into it and you're just riding it, and he's just riding on it, and then he drops his quarter and he's sad because he dropped his quarter, and that's all he's doing in his dream, where he could do whatever he wants. He just wants to ride that thing. Either way, I gotta love me some Patrick. And then he eventually goes to Squidward's dream, and I think Squidward has one of the best dreams in the entire episode, where he's playing his ultimate entertainment like classical music concert for a king, and SpongeBob gets there and starts ruining everything because he's distracting Squidward. But then he's all like, hey Squidward, play me, and he turns into a clarinet and just starts going la 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 la. Except it didn't actually turn Squidward into a star, it turned the clarinet into a star, not Squidward, and Squidward is just ostracized out to the side because nobody cares about him and that talentless hack. Yeah, so Squidward's dream's also ruined now. Then he goes over to Sandy. Sandy's having an extreme dream, and he's all up in there and causes Sandy to miss where she was gonna land, which ruins her dream as well.
Not a parakeet! Parrot!
He goes over to Pearl's dream, and he doesn't actually ruin anything here. He just says that he doesn't want to be in a tea party, so I don't know why she was upset at the end of the episode. Then he goes to Mr. Krabs' dream and interferes with him catching the big one, the big dollar bill. He lets it get away, so Mr. Krabs is upset.
Come back! No! Oh,
And then we have SpongeBob waking up in bed to everybody surrounding him and being pissed off and telling him to stay out of their dreams. Overall, it's just really fun to take a look into what every single person in Bikini Bottom is dreaming about. I think they did a lot of fun stuff here because it wasn't like limited to anything. You could do whatever you want, and I enjoyed it. I thought all their dreams were a lot of fun, except for maybe Pearl's. I could have gone without Pearl's. Oh, I didn't even mention Plankton. Plankton had a dream where he was just destroying everything. Yeah, that was pretty good as well. Just some good dreams. It was just a fun episode with SpongeBob going around investigating all these dreams and ruining them. What else could you need? And coming in at number 16, it's going to be the episode Employee of the Month, and we get so many great comedic scenes in this episode. It's all about how SpongeBob has been the Employee of the Month for so many months, he just never even remotely thought of the premise of Squidward becoming Employee of the Month instead of him. So when he gets the thought in his mind, when Mr. Krabs says that it could happen, when Squidward says that it could happen, and he just envisions Squidward winning, he goes insane and starts trying to sabotage Squidward from getting to work, trying to make him look like a horrible worker, and all of these scenes that we get are just so good, with him trying to like bust his alarm clocks, with him digging a grave for Squidward and just putting him inside of it and leaving him there so SpongeBob could go to work without him. And then you have Squidward's slow descent to madness as well, because he realizes that, hey, maybe I do want to win this thing. So he also starts trying to sabotage SpongeBob. And we just get this great sequence of them just coming up with other ways to like one-up each other and trying to like stop each other from getting to work. And I really like this one gag where they're like about to be at work and then they're just shaking each other's hands like, let the best man win. And then they're just like, this guy's gonna betray me. He's gonna betray me. And we get one final dash to the Krusty Krab.
He's nothing but a lion, boneless, ink squirting, big nose phony.
Look at that buck-toothed, corn-fed smile. You can't trust him as far as you can throw him.
Mr. Krabs shows up and he sees these two maniacs just destroying everything, acting like they're doing such a good job. And I don't know, I just think this episode is just so fun. It's just a lot of chaos, a lot of crazy moments with them both just going so crazy and just trying to hurt each other. I enjoy it a lot. It's nice to see Squidward in this way, because when you get Squidward to that point where he starts going a little bit manic, it's really enjoyable and it's a lot of fun and it makes for a lot of good comedic moments. That's why it's going to earn its spot.
Shut your mouth, you mediocre clarinet player.
Mediocre?
And coming in at number 15 is going to be the episode Plankton. And this is the introductory episode to Plankton, the character. And I think they knocked it out of the park with describing how Plankton was going to have a role in the show, what he was going to do, and how he's a smart genius, but he's also just really small and pathetic at the same time. I enjoyed this episode a lot. I think it was a great introduction for him. The episode is all about, well, it opens with Plankton trying to steal the Krabby Patty, so we get to learn what he's all about. He wants that sweet, succulent secret formula, and he eventually, SpongeBob's just walking on a road, steps on him and is like, oh, hello, Plankton.
Not that close! Ah! You blasted barnacle head!
And Plankton is just immediately trying to trick him into giving him that secret formula. SpongeBob refuses. SpongeBob goes home to take a little snooze to get some rest. And that's when Plankton is hiding as a little flower in his mattress, sneaks in his head, puts a controller onto his brain, and starts controlling SpongeBob, walking around with him in order to go and take a Krabby Patty from the Krusty Krab with no questions asked. Yeah, it's very weird, but it's really good. And I really like this scene that we get with Squidward. I think it's one of the best scenes in the entire show. It's just so funny with him just breaking into Squidward's house, and Squidward's like, hey, what are you doing? And then he just makes fun of him. It's so funny. I love it. It's so good.
Shut your mouth, you mediocre clarinet player.
Mediocre?
And eventually he goes to the Krusty Krab, gets a Krabby Patty, brings it back to the chum bucket, and he's about to put it in the secret formula analyzer, and then SpongeBob's like, I'm just gonna be so sad that this ooey gooey delicious Krabby Patty, it's so mouthwatering with all of its delicious bun and meat, it's just so good. And him talking about the Krabby Patty makes Plankton realize that he has to just eat it, so he just jumps out of SpongeBob's head to try and eat it.
Yes! Yes! Come to Papa! Oh boy.
But in the process, he fails in his entire plan, and he doesn't get that sweet, succulent secret formula. And overall, this episode is really good. It's a great introduction to Plankton and what Plankton is going to be all about. I think we get some great comedic moments between Plankton, SpongeBob, and Squidward. Just lots of good moments here. I really enjoy this one. I think it was a great introductory episode to Plankton.
Boy, oh boy, do I like playing the clarinet. I practice and practice all day long, but I never get any better.
And coming in at number 14 is going to be the episode Opposite Day. And what if I told you that I'm Squidward? You're Squidward. He's Squidward. Because in this episode, it is opposite day. So that means SpongeBob and Patrick are going to act like Squidward, even though if that's what the actual Squidward doesn't want to happen even remotely. This episode is all about how Squidward really wants to sell his house because he's just sick of it. He's done with SpongeBob and Patrick, so he calls a realtor to come over and check out the house. And so he tells SpongeBob and Patrick that it's going to be opposite day, so they should do the opposite of what they would normally do to have fun and play a little game. And he's just hoping that they're just going to be quiet all day, do nothing. But it gets a little bit heated when SpongeBob tells Patrick what opposite day is. And I love the way that Patrick initially takes hearing opposite day, where he just stops breathing.
Patrick, breathe!
Yeah, it's really funny, and then it just evolves into more and more chaos with them just doing more and more things that are the opposite of what they would normally do. And then eventually the realtor does show up, and Squidward is busy repairing SpongeBob's house because they literally destroyed it, so he doesn't notice that the realtor is there, and that's when SpongeBob and Patrick get the brilliant idea to be Squidwards.
Boy, oh boy, do I like playing the clarinet. I practice and practice all day long, but I never get any better.
So SpongeBob is Squidward, Patrick is Squidward, and they're going to talk to the realtor. And SpongeBob, because it's opposite day, he tells her everything is wrong with the house that you could possibly imagine, and she's very confused that SpongeBob is Squidward, Patrick is Squidward. She just doesn't understand what's going on, and then the real Squidward realizes what's going on, rushes over, and he's like, "Hello, ma'am, I'm Squidward." And this pisses her off so much because she's like, why are there 3 Squidwards? I don't understand what's happening. She's like, are there any more Squidwards I need to know about? And that's when Gary slithers up.
I'm Squidward! Are there any other Squidwards I should know about?
Meow.
God, I love Gary. He's so funny. And yeah, she doesn't want to sell the house because this just looks like Crazo Town, so she leaves, and Squidward is stuck living there with SpongeBob and Patrick. I think the main highlight of this episode, although the beginning was a little bit slow with all the build up to it, I think the main highlight is SpongeBob and Patrick pretending to be Squidward. I genuinely thought that was so funny because they're just basically roasting Squidward the entire time and making fun of him for everything he's doing. I think it's so funny. It's so good. Definitely one of the best SpongeBob episodes.
Meow, meow, meow. He has such a way with words.
And coming in at number 13 is going to be the episode Culture Shock, and this episode is really good for giving everybody a little bit of time to shine. I really love the beginning of the episode where we get to learn that the Krusty Krab is struggling financially a little bit. I really like the bit of it where SpongeBob is just waiting for this guy to give him a tip, and then he just drops a penny on the table, and Mr. Krabs just jumps up and just dives through the table. I thought that was so funny, but yeah, the Krusty Krab is struggling financially, so it's up to Squidward to put on a talent show, to show Mr. Krabs that he could do this, that he could put on an amazing show and make the Krusty Krab a lot of money. So the plot of it is mainly SpongeBob trying to get in the talent show, but of course Squidward isn't going to let him. He's not going to let him do anything. So we eventually get to the talent show, and we get a lot of good character stuff here. I really like the beginning where it's just Gary, and he just comes onto the mic, and he's like, "Meow, meow, meow, meow," singing that beautiful song in that beautiful tone that we just love so much.
Meow, meow, meow. He has such a way with words.
Even Sandy is falling in love with Gary's beautiful meows here. He just has such a way with words. We eventually get to Pearl, who is just cheerleading. That one was kind of lame. But then we have Plankton, who does a magic trick, and he tries to steal the Krabby Patty formula. That was also pretty good. And then we eventually get to the highlight of the episode, the main portion of it all, Squidward's time to shine. And he just starts hitting some sick dance moves, flinging his body everywhere, using all of them tentacles, and everybody hates it so much. I thought he was killing it. He was popping off. It was like interpretive, it was cinematic. I thought it was one of the best things that I've ever seen. It was incredible. But they hate him, they boo him off stage, and that's when SpongeBob comes to clean up all the tomatoes that they were throwing at him, and everybody loves that. Everybody loves that he's mopping, that he's cleaning, everybody's cheering. It's just so funny. It's just that SpongeBob charm and SpongeBob humor that you gotta love. And he's just cleaning, and Squidward just can't stand this. He keeps thinking that they're asking for an encore. They're not. They hate him. They hate him so much, and they love SpongeBob, and that's the entire episode pretty much. They made all the money thanks to SpongeBob's incredible cleaning skills. It's just a lot of fun. It's just a talent show episode. You get to see all the characters doing some awesome fun things. There's so many good moments to laugh at. It definitely deserves to be this high up on the list.
F is for fire that burns down the whole town. Use for uranium bombs.
And coming in at number 12 is going to be the episode F-U-N. Fun. It's just so good. It has one of the most iconic songs in all of SpongeBob. F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. It's just so good. It's fire. The song is so good.
For you. F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me.
The build-up is so good. The episode's all about SpongeBob trying to teach Plankton to be friends, to be buddies, to admire people, to enjoy life for the first time ever. And I love it so much. You have Plankton and SpongeBob, just like their personalities just coinciding together to make such a good episode.
F is for frolic through all the flowers. U is for ukulele.
I love it when SpongeBob is trying to initially teach him about fun, and Plankton's all like, U is for uranium bombs, N is for no survivors. It's just so good.
F is for fire that burns down the whole town. Use for uranium bombs.
Any episode that has a really iconic song that has stuck with me even as I'm now an adult just automatically is going to rank higher up on the list. I don't know, this one is just very nostalgic for me. It just has so many good themes, so many good messages, even if Plankton was trying to deceive him the whole time. I love this episode. It's just classic SpongeBob. It's got that classic feel, and just SpongeBob and Plankton just coming together, coexisting, just to make such a good episode. I love it. You gotta love it.
Firmly grasp it!
And then coming in at number 11 is going to be the episode Jellyfishing. And normally, I'm not the kind of guy that really likes torture episodes. They're kind of my least favorite episode of like any show. If there's just an episode where it's one character just suffering the entire time, I'm not usually like gravitating towards it. I don't usually enjoy that. But this is one of the only episodes where I think it is just genuinely so funny the entire time that I just cannot deny how good it is. And who do you think's going to be getting tortured in this episode? Who do you think it is? Who do you think it is? It's Squidward. Of course it's Squidward. And in this episode, we get to learn about SpongeBob and Patrick's jellyfishing obsession for the very first time. And Squidward is just making fun of them, just saying that that's a dumb hobby, it's stupid, and he's just riding on his bike, enjoying his life, not paying attention, just going until he falls off of a cliff, and it's just so funny. I really like that this show just has people randomly exploding for no reason, because he falls all the way down and he explodes after falling down this cliff, and he's just left in a wheelchair. And this is where stuff gets really funny, because SpongeBob and Patrick are like, well, now, because you're in a wheelchair, you could come with us jellyfishing! Yay! So Squidward he can't even talk, he can't even say anything. He's forced to go jellyfishing with them. And when he's jellyfishing with them, Patrick is trying to teach him how to hold the rod, and because, you know, his wrists are broken, he doesn't have hands right now, Patrick just keeps telling him to firmly grasp it, and he just keeps dropping it, so Patrick just gets angry and just shoves the rod through his hand. Why would you do that, Pat? Come on, man. Have a little bit of a brain, man. I just feel so bad for Squid here.
Firmly grasp it!
But either way, they're trying to get Squidward to catch a jellyfish, and Squidward realizes that if he catches one, he could use it to attack SpongeBob and Patrick. So he goes on a chase, and he actually manages to catch a jellyfish. What? Squidward caught a jellyfish? But that's when, like, the mother, the queen, whatever you want to call it, of all jellyfish comes out, and he's like, and just starts attacking Squidward and just shocks him into oblivion. Yeah, it's really funny. It's pretty good. And Squidward comes back and even more casts, and it turns out that they kept the jellyfish that he caught, and it attacks him once again. Yeah, just a really good episode. I enjoyed it a lot. It's a great introduction to the idea of jellyfishing under the sea. I enjoyed that a lot. I think even though Squidward is getting tortured throughout the entire episode, I think they did it well and spaced it out enough to make it actually really funny, even though he's genuinely suffering here. I think it works for me, and it made me laugh a lot. That's why I'm going to rank it a bit higher up on the list.
Patrick, are you ready for this?
Yes?
Okay, let's go. Patrick, are you coming?
Yes?
Patrick, it's this way.
Where?
Here.
Oh!
And coming in at number 10 is going to be the episode Squidward, the Unfriendly Ghost. And in this episode, SpongeBob and Patrick are messing around in Squidward's art gallery, and of course Squidward has this like wax figure of himself because, I mean, come on, it's Squiddy. Of course he's gonna have something, you know, that narcissistic for himself. And they end up putting it in the sunlight and it melts, so they think that they killed Squidward. And Squidward comes out of the shower, he's kind of like in a bunch of powder, he looks like a ghost, so they think that it's Squidward's ghost. And Squidward takes advantage of this, he forms a devious plan to just harass them and use them to do all of his bidding. And I think we get a lot of good comedic moments throughout this, especially when SpongeBob is like feeding him fruit. I thought that was really good because at first it's just, here's a grape, here's a banana, and then he just drops a watermelon onto his body.
One watermelon, fresh.
I thought that was so funny. And then eventually we get to the point where Squidward's plan starts to backfire a little bit when SpongeBob realizes that they need to put Squidward to rest. That's the only way that his soul could be satisfied. And once again, Patrick is a highlight here because he's just so dumb.
Patrick, are you coming?
Yes?
Patrick, it's this way.
Where?
Here.
Oh!
He makes all of these scenes that are like all pushing towards the main plot of trying to put Squidward to rest. He just has these like random moments in this episode that are so stupid. They didn't even need to remotely make him do the things that he does, but it adds so much to the comedy of the episodes that I just love it so much. It's so funny. It's just, I love me some Patrick in this episode. And then eventually they start like trying to put Squidward in a coffin. They dig a grave for him. And I really like this bit where Squidward's like, okay, I've had enough. I'm not even dead. And he takes off his hat and he's like, I have a confession. And SpongeBob's like, you're bald?
Have a confession to make.
You're bald?
No, I'm not bald!
Oh, it's just so good. There's so many good, funny moments in this one. And Squidward's all like, no, I'm your neighbor. And so SpongeBob and Patrick are like, well, we need to help him. We need to help him get to the great beyond. So they blow a bubble at him and just start sending him all the way up out of the ocean. And it just ends with Squidward being surrounded by seagulls. It's so good. It's definitely one of the better episodes of the season for sure. Definitely one of the top ones. Definitely deserves to be in the top 10. There's just so many good comedic moments in this episode. It's always nice to see when Squidward like starts to use and abuse SpongeBob and Patrick a little bit. Starting to like, you know, use his intelligence that they lack to just take advantage of him, and it always backfires in really funny ways, and this is definitely one of those episodes where it backfired in a very funny way. And coming in at number 9 is going to be the episode Hall Monitor. And this is just such a classic for me. It's so nostalgic and I think it's so funny. The episode is all about how Miss Puff makes SpongeBob Hall Monitor. So he kind of takes this a little bit too seriously and he starts going around town acting like he's a cop, acting like he's the man in charge and just causing chaos. And this causes the police to put a warrant out for SpongeBob's arrest because he's causing a bit too much chaos.
I'm the open window maniac! I hope you learned a valuable lesson!
And that leads to the second half of the episode, which I think is just peak comedy in SpongeBob. I love it so much. You have SpongeBob and Patrick all being, you know, Patrick is his deputy, SpongeBob is the hall monitor, and they're hunting down this wanted criminal. And we have Patrick just going, wee woo, wee woo, because he's scared that it's nighttime. And because he's looking at the wanted photo that the police gave to him, he sees SpongeBob. And because, of course, you know, Patrick is a little bit dumb, he can't, like, tell the difference that this wanted person is SpongeBob. So he sees SpongeBob and he's like, he's right there. And so he just keeps pointing and radioing to SpongeBob everywhere that SpongeBob is. So SpongeBob is just constantly running away from himself. And we just get so many good gags here.
Say again, Deputy?
The maniac's in the mailbox!
I love it so much. It's definitely one of the funniest episodes in the entire season. It's just so good and it's so nostalgic. Just all of this stuff with Patrick and SpongeBob just being so stupid. I love it. It's so good. Definitely one of my favorites.
Wait! Oh, don't shoot! Okay, shoot me, but don't take me money!
And coming in at number 8 is going to be the episode Sandy's Rocket. And this episode is also a nostalgic classic. I mean, come on, this was made like 25 years ago. Of course, it's going to be just filled with nostalgic masterpiece episodes. And this is definitely one of those episodes. The episode is all about how Sandy shows SpongeBob that she's building a rocket. And SpongeBob, you know, he's a little bit excited about this. So he asks if he could come with her to the moon. Sandy says no, but SpongeBob just can't resist himself. And he takes Patrick along at night when Sandy is asleep and starts messing around around with the rocket, and he accidentally launches it. It goes up, and it misses the moon for some odd reason and crashes back down on Bikini Bottom. And SpongeBob and Patrick, being their, goofy selves, they think for some reason that they're actually on the moon, and the aliens on the moon are tricking them into thinking that they're on Bikini Bottom. So this causes SpongeBob and Patrick to put on their spacesuits and go around and start kidnapping everybody in Bikini Bottom, and it's so good. I love them going around kidnapping Squidward, kidnapping Mr. Krabs, kidnapping everybody.
Wait! Oh, don't shoot! Okay, shoot me, but don't take me money.
It's so funny. It's so good. You have Sandy coming when she realizes that the rocket's gone, and she's all like, "Oh, you two idiots." And of course, they don't believe that Sandy is even Sandy, so they also kidnap Sandy.
You two ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Nice try, Sandy.
And then eventually they have everybody in Bikini Bottom there, and they just turn on each other because they both think that each other are aliens, because why wouldn't they?
Oh, but it's not you that's got me. It's me that's got me.
Even though they came here together and they've been together the entire time, it doesn't make much sense, but they start trying to capture each other, and this leads to them accidentally using the rocket one more time, sending them up to the actual moon, and they think that, oh, hey, well, we're on Bikini Bottom now, right? And they look outside, and it looks oddly like the moon, and we just get a nice scene where everybody, who's captured in the rocket is just like, the aliens would like to talk to you. It's just a lot of fun. I think it's a very good episode to just showcase how stupid SpongeBob and Patrick could be, but just in a very fun way, with them thinking everybody's aliens and going to kidnap all of them. It's just really funny. It definitely deserves to be this high up on the list.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I need it!
And coming in at number 7 is going to be the episode Tea at the Tree Dome. And this is the first episode in SpongeBob, a part of the 3-part series with Help Wanted, Reef Blower, and then Tea at the Tree Dome. And this was the perfect story, or just mini episode, to end the beginning of SpongeBob, the first episode. It's just so good. It's so funny. It's all about SpongeBob meeting Sandy for the very first time and going to hang out with her inside of her tree dome. But SpongeBob and Patrick, because Patrick eventually shows up to help him, learn about the ladies and seem fancy with those, air dwellers. And they don't really understand the concept of oxygen, not being not with water. Yeah, so they're very confused about that. And Patrick just tells him that he has to survive in there. He has to hold up his pinky, and he just has to be respectful the entire time and not crave water. And it leads to just so many great gags of SpongeBob just literally slowly suffocating, burning to death, because he just needs that sweet, succulent water. And we just get so many great classic scenes here, with Sandy just oblivious to the fact that SpongeBob is literally decaying in front of her. He's literally dying, and it's just so funny.
Pinky! Pinky!
Everything with Patrick trying to encourage him, everything with SpongeBob trying to hold strong, and he's just like, I don't need it. I don't need it, as he's staring at the vase that's holding the flowers. And he's just, I need it. And then he tries to desperately escape with his life. It's so amazing.
I don't need it. I need it!
You have Patrick coming into the tree dome thinking that it can't be that bad, dragging SpongeBob back. And then he just is like, what kind of a place is this?
What kind of place is this?
I'm kind of just yapping about what the episode's all about, just because it has so many classic moments to it that I could just enjoy and I could laugh at over and over and over again. That's what I like so much about classic SpongeBob. Just all of these moments are so funny. It's not just for some idiot toddler. It's just stuff that will genuinely make anybody laugh, and just this entire episode makes me laugh so much. Eventually Sandy realizes that they're literally dying, gives them some helmets so that they could be in the tree dome and just have water in their helmets. It's just very good, very enjoyable, definitely one of the best episodes in SpongeBob Season 1.
Only one thing. You forgot the pickles!
And coming in at number 6 is going to be the episode Pickles, and I know not a lot of people would put this high up on the list, but I think this episode is also just such a classic for me that I have to rank it this high, and I honestly think it's so funny. The episode is all about Bubble Bass coming to order the ultimate order, and his order is honestly insane.
Big ass, Tiny, a small salad.
I'll take a double triple bossy deluxe on a raft, 4x4 animal style, extra shingles with a shimmy and a squeeze.
please. Light axle grease, make it cry, burn it, and let it swim.
I think Binging with Babish made it or something. Somebody definitely made this order, but it's really crazy. It's just a crazy Krabby Patty, and SpongeBob makes it for him, and SpongeBob is the best fry cook ever, but it turns out that he forgot the pickles.
Only one thing. You forgot the pickles!
And so SpongeBob just keeps on failing over and over again. He just loses his confidence. He loses his ability to make incredible Krabby Patties. Mr. Krabs tries to hype him up, but no matter what he does, no matter how many times he tries, he just keeps on forgetting the pickles.
Still no pickles!
He doesn't understand that this could possibly be happening until eventually we learn at the end, when Bubble Bass is laughing at SpongeBob's failures, that he was hiding the pickles underneath his tongue the entire time. They grab his tongue, rip the pickles out of there, and Bubble Bass just runs away in defeat like the dirty Redditor he is.
Look! He's been hiding the pickles under his tongue the whole time.
Because that's what he reminds me of. He reminds me of like a guy that would be all like, "Oh, hello, kitten. Do you have my double stuffed Krabby Patty now? Do you have it, kitten? Oh, please come to me, my kitten." That's what he reminds me of. He just gives that vibe. He just even looks the part. It looks exactly what he would be. I think this episode is just a lot of fun. All of the stuff with the SpongeBob and Bubble Bass showdown, the suspense, the tension, SpongeBob going and getting his confidence back after learning how to make Krabby Patties again. I just think it's a lot of fun. It's very enjoyable to watch SpongeBob just be under all of this pressure. I think Bubble Bass is a great villain for the episode, and I think he's honestly pretty funny, even though he's just that like typical, stereotypical, like horrible customer. I just think he's a lot of fun, and that's why I rank this episode pretty high. It's just definitely a classic for me.
We serve food here, sir.
I got it already, Squidward. Bubble Bass.
Yeah.
All just because I ripped my pants.
When Big Larry came around.
And coming in at number 5 is going to be the episode Ripped Pants. And you know, when Big Larry came round just to put him down, SpongeBob turned into a clown, and no girl ever wants to dance with the fool who went and ripped his pants. This episode is honestly so good. It's all about SpongeBob being a Goo Lagoon, and he realizes that something really funny that he could do is ripping his pants. And that just makes everybody at the entire lake just start laughing so much because it's just so hilarious. So he turns it into his gimmick for the day. And I actually really enjoy this. It gets a little bit repetitive as the episode goes along, but I think it's so funny because he's just going around, and especially the one where he fakes drowning. He gets rescued by the lifeguard, and then he comes over and he's all like, "What do you need, son?" And he's like, I need a tailor because I ripped my pants."
A tailor. Because I ripped my pants! Ah!
And yeah, it's just so good. It's so funny. Everybody eventually ditches him because they're so sick of this stupid joke. And then we get one of the most iconic SpongeBob songs ever, Ripped Pants. It's so good. It's so amazing. Definitely one of my favorite songs in all of SpongeBob.
Larry came round just to put him down. SpongeBob turned into a clown.
I know the song by heart. It's such a classic, and call this episode a little bit overrated if you want. I can perfectly understand that, because if you ask anybody what their favorite SpongeBob episode is or favorite song, they might definitely say Ripped Pants, but I don't think it's overrated. I think it's perfectly rated because it's just that good.
If I had $1 for every brain you don't have, I'd have $1.
And now we are finally in that top 4 arena, and I think all of these episodes are honestly just perfection. 10 out of 10s, 11 out of 10s, whatever you want to call them. They're all just so good that at any given day they could probably go all the way up to number 1 or all the way down to number 4. They're just all evenly matched for me, to be honest, because they're all just peak SpongeBob, and that's why number 4 is going to be Naughty Nautical Neighbors. This episode is so funny. It's so good. It has so many memorable gags. It has so many meme moments. It has so many just everything. The comedy, the story, the characters, they're all on point in this episode. This episode opens with SpongeBob and Patrick just enjoying themselves, you know, just blowing bubbles at each other, and they're just whispering special words into the bubbles, just saying super nice stuff. And Squidward, you know, being his squiddy self, he hates this. He can't stand it, so he starts making his own bubbles that say horrible things about each other.
If I had $1 for every brain you don't have, I'd have $1.
And this causes SpongeBob and Patrick to not be friends anymore, to have this big blowout, this big argument. Squidward is loving it. He's loving it so much. He's having such a great time. And this causes him to start choking on a fork. And it's honestly like, yeah, is it wrong for me to say that Squidward choking on a fork is one of the funniest things I've ever seen? He's just like, and he's just choking. He starts turning purple, and that's when Patrick rushes over and saves his life. Squidward's like, oh, you're a true friend. And Patrick's all like, friend? Really? Because he doesn't have any friends at this point. And then we get one of the funniest gags of the entire episode where after like they get this like little sequence of them becoming friends, it just cuts to SpongeBob, and he is just like staring at them through the window with just like the most horrified look on his face.
Just friends.
So what do we...
And it's so good, it's so funny. And so Squidward and Patrick start hanging out, and we get that just iconic like Patrick sleeping when Squidward starts talking meme. It's so good, it's so funny. And SpongeBob is able to eventually become Squidward's friend as well, and they're just fighting over Squidward just constantly because they both need that sweet succulent squid. They're just fighting over him, and eventually Squidward has to come up with a plan to make it so they're both going to be friends again. So he makes them drink a bunch of soda. They drink all the soda, and because they start burping, they become friends again. Happy ending, it's good stuff, and it's just one of the funniest episodes in the entire season. It's just so good, and it pains me to put it at number 4. I honestly wish I could just do 4 number 1 spots, because they're just all, on any given day, this could be at number 1. It's just that funny. It's just such a good premise, such a good story. I love this episode so much. Definitely deserves to be in the top 4.
Hey, SpongeBob, the bus is here!
And coming in at number 3 is going to be the episode Rock Bottom. And in this episode, SpongeBob and Patrick go to Glove World, and they end up taking the wrong bus home. And it takes them all the way down to Rock Bottom, the darkest part of the ocean, where things are just a bit out of whack. And all of SpongeBob and Patrick's just interactions here, where they can't even tell like what the bathrooms mean. Patrick like waiting at the bus stop, and then he abandons SpongeBob there.
Hey, SpongeBob, the bus is here!
It's just all so good. It's so funny. It's great to watch SpongeBob just be in this like completely different place compared to what he's used to, and just dealing with all of these like new weird things going on, these weird people. The people there can only talk like this, like, hello, are you a Luther? Something like that. That's the only way that they could speak, and it's really weird. But either way, SpongeBob is trying to do everything he can to get on the next bus home, and we get so many good funny moments with this. Like him trying to get something from the vending machine because he's just hungry, because the glove candy just tastes like gloves. That was the only food that he brought with him. And then we get some good stuff with him going to like the bus depot and trying to like check when the next bus is, and the person at the teller like stand can't understand him because he's not talking like with the thing. Yeah, it's really weird. It's so good. So many great gags. And there's also this really weird guy that's been following SpongeBob the entire time, but it turns out that he's just a super nice guy, and he took his balloon, but to end the episode off, SpongeBob is running away from this guy, and he just ties the balloon on his wrist and sends SpongeBob back home.
Air! Thanks! Hey!
And it just ends with Patrick coming back to Rock Bottom, coming back for SpongeBob. It's just definitely one of the classics. It's just so memorable for me. I could literally see basically the entire episode in my brain. It's just that good, and I've just seen it so many times. Definitely deserves to be all the way up here on this list.
Don't worry, SpongeBob, I'm coming back for you!
Or is a fine-looking pizza.
Yeah.
What's that? Is that the cheese?
Rusty Crab, pizza.
And coming in at number 2 is going to be the episode Krusty Krab Pizza, because the Krusty Krab Pizza is the pizza for you and me. It's just so good. The episode is all about how Mr. Krabs is going to dive into the pizza market, so he sends Mr. Squidward and Mr. SpongeBob on an adventure to deliver a pizza, and all of this is just so much fun with SpongeBob and Squidward going on this adventure, just dealing with all of these silly shenanigans, dealing with the wind, dealing with their hunger, where Squidward tries to just get SpongeBob to look at that sweet succulent pizza, and they're staring down at it, just talking about how good it looks.
Or is a fine-looking pizza.
Yeah.
What's that? Is that the cheese?
But SpongeBob is all about the customer, and he's not willing to fail the customer. We get some great gags. Eventually, SpongeBob and Squidward stumble upon a boulder, but it's not just a boulder, it's a rock.
That's just a stupid boulder.
It's not just a boulder. It's a rock.
And the pioneers used to drive these babies for miles, and they drive the rock all the way to the customer's house. It's so weird. It's so funny, but it has everything you just love about SpongeBob. It's just like a grounded premise about delivering a pizza turned into just something so magical and so enjoyable throughout the entire thing. And then they eventually get to the customer's house, and they're about to deliver that pizza. They knock on the door. He's all like, "Oh, wow, my pizza. Where's my drink? My Diet Dr. Kelp, where is it?" And apparently, because he was supposed to have a soda, he doesn't even want the pizza anymore, which is kind of dumb. Like, why wouldn't you at least take the pizza, man? Like, I understand, like, maybe you want to drink it with the soda, but come on, it's pizza. Take it. And so SpongeBob is just heartbroken about this. He can't believe that he failed the customer that badly. And we get an amazing Squidward W where he grabs the pizza and just shoves it in that asshole's face because fuck that guy. Like, why you gotta be like that? Like, SpongeBob put everything into delivering this pizza, and then we just get this amazing ending where it turns out the Krusty Krab was like literally a centimeter away from where they had to deliver it, so all of that was really for nothing. But either way, I love the journey, I love the comedy, and it's definitely one of SpongeBob's best episodes just ever. And coming in at number 1, the best episode in SpongeBob Season 1 has to be SB 129. This episode is just honestly so creative that I have to put it at the number 1 spot. Like, when you take into consideration when this came out, it's just so awesome. Like, this is one of the first episodes SpongeBob ever had when you consider that there's probably like over 1,000 of them now. This is one of the best in the entire series. It's such a creative concept, and I'm just so surprised that this episode is even a Season 1 episode because it's just that good. We get a really good opening of this episode with Squidward just being so done with SpongeBob and Patrick. He just wants to play his clarinet, and so he tries to hide from them in a freezer, and he ends up freezing, and he just gets taken to the future, and it's just everything is chrome now. He can't handle it, and I just love whoever came up with this idea for Squidward's reaction to be future. It's so funny, and Squidward just can't handle this. So he tries to use a time machine to go back into the past, and he ends up going way too far back. And that's when we get to meet the caveman versions of SpongeBob and Patrick, and Squidward ends up teaching them jellyfishing, the art of jellyfishing, to try to keep them away from him so he could just use his clarinet.
Oh, that's sweet. What, is it time for your flea bath now?
And all of this stuff is just so awesome. Just all of this stuff with Squidward in the past, and honestly has a great amount of tension in the beginning, and Caveman SpongeBob and Caveman Patrick are honestly a little bit intimidating, but they're also really funny at the same time. I enjoyed it a lot. This entire sequence was really great with Squidward in the past, showing them jellyfishing, running away from them, getting freaked out by them getting stung by a jellyfish. All of it was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. And then you have Squidward going into a weird dimension after this, where he's all alone and there is nothing, and there's just a bunch of voices telling him that he's all alone.
Finally, I've found a place where I can be all alone.
Hello.
I didn't understand this dimension at all. It was kind of creepy as a kid, to be honest, to just see Squidward just alone in this world, just hearing alone. He realizes that he has to get out of there, and he's able to go all the way back to the present, and he realizes that he's happy with SpongeBob and Patrick in this normal present timeline, except he still hates that they want to go jellyfishing, and he's all like, who invented this stupid game anyway? And they're all like, you did, because Squidward in the past gave them a rod and a net to jellyfish, so he was the one who invented it all. all along. And I just think this episode is genuinely really creative, especially for the time it came out. We just got so many really cool things here, so many memorable moments, and it's great for comedy. And I just think this episode had so many good moments to it. It's just so memorable, it's so creative, it's so comedic. It just definitely deserves to be all the way up at the #1 spot for all of the stuff that they managed to do in just this 11-minute timeline. I mean, we had Squidward going all the way to the future, having a really funny reaction. We had him going to the past and meeting a past version of SpongeBob and Patrick and just dealing with all of that for a while. And then that weird dimension was also super interesting. Like, I would really love to see like the storyboard process of this episode and how they came up with it, because it's just so unique. Like, there's probably other episodes in SpongeBob later on that are even more crazy than this one, but when you take into consideration when this came out and just everything that they managed to do in this episode, you just have to appreciate it and just love it, because I mean, it's just such a great mix of comedy and just crazy stuff going on with all of the future shenanigans, and that's why I love it so much. It definitely deserves to be all the way up there at that #1 spot.
Yes, that's my arm.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe. I did a different approach with this video where I was trying to be more like, you know, straight to the point with it, you know, a quick summary and then talking about all the jokes I liked and just a quick thing about why I think it deserves to be like ranked higher. I tried to be just more straight to the point compared to my other rankings, just trying something new out, seeing if people like that a little bit more instead of me just yapping for 4 minutes straight about one episode. So yeah, I was trying that out. Let me know what you think about that, or if you prefer for me to just keep talking about the same episode, or if you like me just going on to the next one and just talking about them all, because either way, I'm having a lot of fun and I really hope you enjoyed this one. I have a lot of good stuff on the way, obviously more regular show content. If this video does well, then I'll do this one for season 2 as well, and 3. I got a BoJack video on the way, and just lots of good stuff. I appreciate all of you so much, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.